that it's written that when the brothers came to Yaakov, they said Joseph's still alive, he didn't believe him. He didn't trust him. Didn't believe. He thought this was maybe another very elevated trick. So it didn't believe him. But it's written that when he looked at the Harikolim's cards that Pari had sent, then he said, "Oh, that's a sign that Shalom Aleichem, everything's fine. Yes, Yosef is in it." So everybody asked, "What did you see with the cards? What do the cards say?" So it comes along the matter, it says an amazing thing, that Yaakov Avinu, when he left Yosef HaTzadik, he was learning, and Yosef HaTzadik was learning with him at the moment that they parted. And Yaakov Avinu wanted to be Makayim, the famous Gemara in Masechta Brachos. Oh, Shalom Aleichem. There's a famous Gemara in Masechta Brachos which says that whenever you part from your friend, you're parting, for some reason, you have to go your way and he has to stay, or he has to go another way, then you must always say a dvar halocha, v'mitoi kach zochreihu, that because of that, he will remember it. So everybody says, who's remembering what? Is it the pshat that because of that dvar halocha will stick in his mind, he'll remember the person? Or does it mean that the Dvar Halacha will stick in his mind and he'll remember the Dvar Halacha? So you can take it, and leave it. Whatever way you want is good. Oh, but that's for sure that particular Dvar Halacha, he will remember that very intimately. So it's written that before they parted, Yaakov Avinu taught Yosef a portion from Perik Egla Arufa, a Perik in Masechta Sota, right near the end, which begins with the word Egla Arufa. Now, an Egla Arufa and Agola are the same root word, but they mean different things. An Egla, is a young cow, but Agola is a cart, you understand? So, but it's the same basic root word. So Yaakov Avinu saw these agolas, says the Medrash, also in the Gemara, it's also brought down in the Gemara. And it's a pedagogic example, and Yaakov looked at these agolas, and he said, oh yeah. He said, that's the same root word as egla, and we were learning egla rufa when we parted. Oh, that's a sign that it's Yosef. No, it's a sign that it's Yosef. It's a sign that Yosef is still learning, and said he still remembers what I taught him. And not only that, he remembers it very specially because that was what we were learning when we parted.
That's crazy.
Azuri is written in the Medrash, right here on the spot. And that's how Yosef put it together, Yaakov Avinu put it together that it was okay. He didn't trust his own sons. He put it together that it was Yosef. We see that Yaakov Avinu was always learning, and that's the pshat that he was always in a yeshiva. You follow? So therefore it was very important to him that he sent Yehuda to make sure there would be a yeshiva should be ready for him, and the purpose of that yeshiva is to give instruction. You follow? Don't worry, I'm coming to something. A bit of a lengthy introduction, we're coming to something. Overmailer, Kumtois, that he had to send Yehuda to achieve that, together with Yosef. So now I want to ask you guys a close question, not a close question, it's an emerson question, but it's a bit got not to do with what we're talking about, but it does that very much. And that is, Yidden have been in Golas for over 2,000 years. Can anybody tell me how is it that the Golas has not affected the Jewish people? They are still the same Yidden, and they're still asking the same kashyas, and they're still learning, and they're still going ahead with all the 2,000 years they've been in all the countries, have been persecuted and geschlagen and gehargert, Rachmanin Islam. The Maral Miprag says in a place that you can never, even if you wrote from now to another 50 years' time, you would never be able to write all the sufferings of the Jewish people. That's what the Maral Miprag says. I can show it to you with him. So I thought to Shalom, what's their secret? They didn't know. How come they, today they're still, they're still the same Yidden, Baruch Hashem. So I thought to what's the secret? So what do you guys say?
You have a Rabbi.
So I would say two things. Their secret is Torah and Moshiach.
Okay.
Torah is the first one. Why? Because the Gemara says near the end of Masechta Menachos, and that's what we see here, that if you study Torah, you'll be on time and you'll be on place. Torah elevates you to be on time and be on place. So when you sit and learn Torah, you're out of it. You're not fachaft in all the, you're up in another plane of existence altogether. If you ever notice, when you really get into Torah, you just, you're right off the whole billboard of the world, and you're just in a. And the Gemara says over there that if you learn the laws of oilo, on the mizbech, it's just like as if you were makriv oilo. So you can't be makriv on oilo. That's only a kohen can do that, and there has to be an altar. There has to be a base of mikdash. Was it just as if you were makriv oila? You can't be makriv on oila. Oh yes, you can. If you learn Torah, that doesn't matter who you are, what you are, where you are. It's like as if you were in the base of mikdash and you're standing in front of the mizbech in a Levitic base of mikdash.
What?
Oh, he was about to fall off his chair. That's what should happen. Torah elevates you beyond time and beyond place. And that's the way it does in all inyanim. Doesn't matter what you learn. You learn a piece of halakha, you learn a piece of chumash with Rashi, you learn a halakha, you learn Gemara, you learn Chassidus for sure. The whole billboard doesn't relate to you before. Doesn't have any nesinus mocking, cloud. The second thing is that Moshiach, Yidden have always known, and they've always believed, and they've always held by it, that this goddess is not real. We're only here temporarily, and at any moment Moshiach is coming. V'haraya, there's a halacha, benegel until it's yadayim, that the reason you make a bracha on that, and it's got to do with the base of Mikdash, with Tumah, on Truma. Shemi Yibona base of Mikdash, Betok Kamaragoyim, and you have to, if you want to eat Truma, you'll have to wash your hands. You follow? Even though you're not a Kohen and everything. Once again, the same basic principle. Yeah. So we see that Shema Yibona Beis Hamikdash is a living factor in certain laws in the Torah, Bapashtas. But not Shema Yibona Beis Hamikdash, Ba'od Kama Shonim. But Shema Yibona Beis Hamikdash, Achal, Beregazet. So by the time you walk from here to the table, you're going to have to make natilas. So do it now. And himself, he said, that Yidden have lived always with Moshiach in a certain way that they never really believed that they really are going to stay here. And if Kosh came with Kal V'Chomer, they don't believe that they belong here. Yet therefore you should realize that the whole Mashiach campaign of the Rebbe is nothing new. Absolutely. People go around and say, oh, Chabadskis, this and that, and the Shreng Mashiach. So maybe, there's a couple of small chidushim here and there, but the Iker that Yidden Tumul about Mashiach, That's an essential thing in the etzem makeup of the Jewish people, all the generation. And that's why they're not a buried empire under the ground. You know, the Aztecs or if you want to meet an Aztec, you have to go and dig about 5 miles into the ground. And if you want a yid, you got him right there. And if you're not careful, he'll sell you something. And he'll pilfer you out of, then he'll make a few bucks on you. Because he's a yid. But what he will do after that, he'll slap you into the base of Medrash, and he'll get you l'mayla mizman mokim. And you'll say, oh, wow, this is great. And those two factors, they've held the Jewish people. So what I want to suggest to you, that why did Yaakov Avinu send Yehuda to get Yosef involved, and why does Yehuda have to be part of it? Because those are the two factors of Moshiach and Torah. In other words, Yehuda, for sure, he was involved in Torah. But the word Yehuda is from Russian moida, to admit, hoidoa. And hoidoa is pashtas, emuna is shar to hoidoa. Pshitas and pashtas. Yehuda was a Kabbalah Zernik, he was very powerful. And he was very, he was able to take anybody on, is what to use the expression. But he was pashtas and pshitas and Kabbalah soil, and admitting, and giving yourself over to Hashem, beyond reasoning altogether. And that's Yehuda. Yosef HaTzadik, he was all the time learning, and he's the one, there's a pasuk in Tehillim which says, Noiheg Katzoin Yosef, that Hashem runs the Jewish people like the flock of Yosef. Yeah? So Rashi says over there, why the flock of Yosef? What about other great people, the forefathers? Because Yosef, he looked after them all in Mitzrayim. He fed them all, he looked after them all. And he keeps doing that the whole time. All throughout the Golas, Yosef is holding it together. But how is he doing it? Because he reveals the most tremendous thing. He's Yesod. And Yesod is Davke Ashpur, giving forth. And therefore Yosef, he helps you to hold by the Gula with Gilui. He pours down all sorts of tremendous things. And Torah is this big pouring down. And therefore he is the Koyach HaGeula Alidei Torah Davke. Davke Begilui and Bashpur to Aliyin. Yehuda is Moshiach now. Yehuda says we got to get moving. We've got to have the Gula, not just in Ruchnias, Tikazachin, that's also very important. But we've got to have a B'poel Mamish, and Yehuda is the simple Emunah Pshuta, and the Lamayla Mitam Vadas, and the Mesiras Nefesh of Yidden, to get things moving. And therefore we see that Yaakov Avinu stressed that this should be a base Talmud to give forth instruction, not just to not just to sit and learn for yourself and say, oh, Baruch Hashem, I'm at least out of the mess, But you've got to produce a situation where other people will also get lifted out of the mess. And you've got to do that, and you can only do that if you really have a lot of emunah and Kabbalah Seil and Pshitas together with all the tremendous giroi that Yosef gives you. And that is what we see, that we need both. We have to have both Yosef and Yehuda, and therefore it's put down in the Zohar Kodesh that Yosef is what we call Geula Begalui, and Yehuda is what we call Tefillah. And that is a idiom from Smichas Geula to Tefillah. But it's the other way around. The Tefillah went to the Geula here. And normally it's the other way around. So the Rabbi Rashab says an amazing thing about that. And he says, first of all, Yehud has to go to Yosef, because Yosef gives all the Gilui, and he pours everything down with tremendous impetus Gilui, and that enters into Yehuda also. But after that enters into Yehuda, it becomes revealed the emissary inner pneumistic level of Yehuda, which is Malchus, and the Shoresh of Malchus is way back higher than that of Yosef. It's just that it's hidden, in the Pashta of Alidei. Well, he went to Yosef first, and Yosef gave him a big Gilui. Then he became Yehuda, then Yosef is bottled to him. And that's Migas Geula, Letvila. Ultimately speaking, who is the real McCoy? The real McCoy is Yehuda. He's the real McCoy. Mamela, we want Moshe now. Poil Mami. Mamela Yaakov said, I can't have my base Talmud, which is going to be the best years and the best hours of our life when we're learning Torah that way. We have to have both Yehuda and Yosef. And on the contrary, we have to have them united. At her, he sent Lahoidos, and this is going to become an instruction. It's going to teach others. You know? So it follows, Lefiza, that's connected with Hey Tevas. You guys know about Hey Tevas, It's got a very close connection. Could we see that Yaakov Avinu didn't just send or rely on the great revealer of Torah and the great, what we might call London, the most unbelievable Goan that Yosef was, to reveal everything. He said he has to have Yehuda involved as well. In other words, to really get to the emes of Pnimius, you've got to have Yehuda also. And Yehuda is Pshitas and Pashtas, Kabbalah soil, and therefore, what is Lubavitch? Let's for a moment think about it. Why did Hey Tevas occur in Lubavitch? Why didn't the some other they're very honorable people. Why didn't they have a Hey Tevas? Why did Hey Tevas occur in Lubavitch? Because Lubavitch has that most amazing combination that you're only able to learn Torah if you sit down and learn a bit of Chassidus first. You got to learn Pnimis HaTorah, but you got to learn it in a way of Kabbalah soil and Pshita and Pashtas, Emunah and Hoidoah, that as much as I learn, the Rebbe Rashab says right near the beginning of Some of All, that only those who learn Pnimis HaTorah, Be'iyun Godel, they know just how much they don't know. He said a lot of people can learn Pnimis HaTorah and think they know a lot, but they don't really know. That's what he writes over there, in Some of All. In other words, that you've got to know a tremendous amount, but at the same time you have to know that you don't know. And that is the Klali. And that opening up, that opens up the, how do you call it, the opening for Emunah Pshuta, for Tkifa, and for going ahead, because you know that you know, but you don't know. And that is the most healthy thing, and that makes you a Klali to emes Pnimius. Then you're shy to Pnimius HaTorah. And that's what the Rebbe Rashab said, that one of the whole reason he founded Tomchet Mimim was that the Bochum should learn how to do a mitzvah b'chayus Pnimius. Chayus Pnimius. In other words, they should be involved fully chayus, but it should be Pnimius, you understand? And you can only do that if you're a tamim. And a tamim means a person that he goes b'pshita, he goes with simplicity. You understand? He doesn't, how do you call it? He doesn't make any investigations. He just goes ahead and does what the Rebbe tells him to do. He opens up the gateway for the Gilui HaPnimius. And that's the union of Hey Tevas. Of the amazing thing is that the Midrash says that the base Talmud has to teach, instruct around. What happened on Hey Tevas was even Esau, he understood that. What we've just been talking about, even Esau, a feel of the Goy Shekep of the judges in the court, And one of them in the Supreme Court, in the thing, was how do you call it, a Schwarzenegger, a female, a lady, a Schwarzenegger lady. I mean, I don't mean anything bad, but she was a lady and a Schwarzenegger, how do you call it, a darky lady. And she, I'm sure she didn't know much about Siddhas, you know. And nonetheless, she shrieked that Davke, yeah, there has to be a Rebbe, and the Rebbe has to get all the Svarim. All the Svarim belong to the Rebbe.
Wow.
Shalom Aleichem, you know, what is a Rebbe? We see from that there was a bureau in Ezo. And the Rebbe said in a place that was like the last bureau.
He said that?
So if that's the last bureau, then I have a simple question. Ad matai, you know, so.
Ad Masai. We want Mashiach now.
That's the whole thing. That the whole thing is to bring us to the realization that Yehuda had B'lavochi. Yeah, that we could have it now. So, and that's why Yehuda, that's why he had to be involved. Because Yosef is just pouring forth Klali, and he's busy, you know, he's very taken, you know, and he's pouring forth, but it's, you know, but you need somebody to say, that's all great, but we got to get Mashiach B'poyo. You know, and that's how they call it, that's Yehuda, you follow? And therefore he had to send Yehuda, Yaakov Avinu, yeah? And Yosef, yeah, was a tremendous London. He was so involved in Torah that he cut the rims of the Agolas, and he realized that that was his father. Yeah. And we see how the Torah surrounded and shaped the life of these people in the most unbelievable way, even before Matan Torah. And we see that what the Rebbe says, we want Mashiach B'poyo, Yehuda, and all the Gilui that involves. Yosef, we see that those factors were living even before Matan Torah. And the Rebbe Rashab says in the Maimon that Yaakov Avinu wanted to bring, and the Rebbe brings it in the Dvar Malchus, not the covered Dvar Malchus, the Meshachit Dvar Malchus. The Rebbe brings that, that's what the whole thing is. We need Mashiach now, we have to have it now. It's not a union that, you know, it's just a nice idea, but it's a union shel poyo. And that's Yehuda, you know, that's his union. And therefore, Yehuda, Yaakov Avinu had to send Yehuda together with Yosef. They had to be both of them involved, and he knew that would elevate them and give them their best years, however long it would take, yeah, in Mitzrayim. And that's what the Alter Rebbe hid inside this amazing terrace that he said to the Tzemach Tzedek. You see, the Tzemach Tzedek said, you know, what sort of a good life can you have in Mitzrayim? So the Alter Rebbe said, if you're involved in the way Yaakov Avinu wanted this base Talmud, it should be almost a base Chabad, but it should trade, not only just teaching, but giving forth to bring Mashiach B'poyo. Oh, that's good. That's all. And therefore it's brought down in a place from the Rebbe Rashab that Yaakov Avinu was a tremendous action with Moshiach. He tried in different ways to bring Moshiach. This was another way that he was trying. This whole sending of Yehuda, because Yehuda is Malchus Beis David. And he sent Malchus Beis David to be involved. Yeah, that should be the Gula Shleima. What's his name? Yaakov Avinu. And he never gave up, Yaakov Avinu. He kept going the whole time. I can show it to you that he was tremendously involved in the perfection of the world, Yaakov Avinu. If Amela Hashem should help all of us that we get the right message from Hey Tevas. Hey Tevas is a very, very great day. It's not just a victory in the court case, the books, and we got this one. That's a tremendous thing. But it's the victory of what the Sforim do to the world and what they mean to Yidden. And that's what they mean. They mean the shricha and the pouring of the Gilui of Yosef, but they mean Yeah, the Malchus based over it, and the Pashtas, and that's Hanukkah. That's the Sheman Torah. The Sheman Torah is not the understanding of Torah, but how to call it the inner message and the neshama of the Torah, the inner pneumias, which is going to bring Moshiach. And therefore, the Rebbe says in a place that the light, the Hanukkah light, particularly on Zeis Hanukkah, that's the Gila of Moshiach. So have a good Hemshah to Hanukkah, and have a good Hey Teva.
Amen.
But we could have kept the right angle, you understand? So you guys are going tonight to for bringing. So we all make you our shluchim, that you should get a lot of chayes. And some of the people who are going to be speaking, I think, are very capable. So doubtless you will hear very good messages. But you're also going to be buying some sforim. I understand. Yeah. So if you see any savor which you think, you have to be very careful. When I meet up with people who are going to wear sforim on, I get rather sort of. I anticipate that they will bring me a sefer. So you're in danger of being fired, you know. But of course, we'll probably out of sheer necessity, we'll have to rehire you. You know? But anyway, just by the way, I can leave you a few words for that. It could be, for some reason, my Shari Oira from the Mittler Rebbe has disappeared. It appears that I lent it to somebody about a year and a half ago, and it seems he forgot to give it back to me. Therefore, I don't lend my Sforim over, but I made a Yitzim and see what happened. So I don't have my, and that's very disturbing to me, the Shari Oira. They might have it there. So that's one thing, Be'ez Hashem. They say the sky is the limit. Yeah.